Okay. How we doing? I'm holding my breath, I swear. I'm like, is it gonna work? Do you hear me okay? Sounds good? Video laggy or not? You know, I was just remembering a couple years ago, I had a guest on, someone I greatly respect and admire as a producer and a DJ and all around just really nice guy. And that is Keith Tenniswood, aka Radioactive Men, one of the two lone swordsmen along with Andrew Weatherall. And the first time we had him on, it was a catastrophic stream breakdown. It was irretrievable. Like, everything just crashed. And isn't it funny? Well, I'll tell you the story. Let's get back into it. Thanks for being patient. We're getting a nice fresh start. Let's bring it in and do this one more time. All right, we're back on Selway's Techno Saturdays. We had a couple of false starts and some craziness going on with the stream freaking out and OBS crashing, and I tried to fix it while we were live, but it just didn't work, so we had to stop and start again. Changed some settings. I checked the internet. I looked to see if there was anything going on that shouldn't be going on. And so far, so good, right? Everybody can hear me? Just tell me in the chat if this happens again. All right. So, you know, I'm just going to do the whole intro spiel again, you know, for posterity. This is 343 TV, brought to you by 343 Labs Music Production School here in New York City and Berlin and online. If you want to know more about the classes that we have and the programs that we're running and the events that we're doing and anything else you need to know about 343 Labs, check out the links in the description below. And I want to just give another plug. Upcoming very soon, we have a feedback session with none other than Lenny D from Industrial Strength. We're doing a hardcore techno, hard techno feedback session. We want you guys to submit your work. You got to join the Discord to do so in the Selway feedback channel. Check the link below to join the Discord. And some of you were here earlier, and I don't know if you heard me say any of that, but I just had to say it again, right? Because that's coming up on February 10th. And, all right, I had this whole intro spiel I was trying to do. I don't think anybody heard me the first time around, so I thought I would just get that in quickly again so anyone watching this in the future won't be totally confused. And, all right, so time is short now. You know, since we had our technical issues, it's already 1:30, and I can only really do like another 30, 40 minutes before I got to move on with my day. So apologies for that it's going to be a short session due to the technical issues. Thanks to all of you for being patient and hanging out and coming back when we started again. And I don't know, let's get into it. So I mentioned last night I was out. Well, those of you who heard me earlier, I was saying I was out last night. I don't go out to clubs or parties that much nowadays. I'm getting up there, and I get up early every day, and I look after my family, and I work during the day here at 343 Labs. And I don't have as much of a nightlife as I used to when I was out there DJing and being a part of the scene and everything. But I went out last night because Keith was here, right? I was saying just now, when the first time we had Keith on as a guest, there was a total stream meltdown. And then, of course, he's here in New York City, and we hung out last night. We had a real good time talking and having a couple of beers, and then he had played an amazing set at Nowadays, and you know, wouldn't you know it, the day after Keith Tenniswood does a set, the stream breaks down and crashes. I think it's him. It's the radioactivity. That's what it is. Blame it on Radioactive Man. But no, seriously. So he DJ'd last night, and he reminded me of one of my old tracks. He played this track called Velozone. It's one of my early tracks on Serotonin Records. And it's kind of like, it's an electro funk breaks hybrid, right? And I've been working on some stuff similar to that lately. So yeah, this is the track. Let's have a little bit of listen to see what I'm talking about here. Let me know if you hear that okay. Right, so far, so kind of fast. It's a little light, electro in a way. It's musical, but then I have this like buzzy kind of funk melodic bass line going on. Right, so Keith played this last night, and I honestly have never heard any other DJ besides myself play this track. So one, just props to Keith for supporting my music and playing one of my deep cuts from back in the day. But also, like, you know, it's kind of inspiring that, you know, to hear your music out there, especially when it's something off the cut. Like, you know, the stuff I do with Christian Smith, the kind of more peak time techno, like that, you know, that's sort of more what I'm used to. But it's really nice to hear someone play a track of mine when I was reaching out a little bit to try something different. Wow, some of you guys didn't know. I'm checking out what you're all talking about in the chat. Some of you didn't know that Keith Tenniswood / Radioactive Man was one of the 2 Lone Swordsmen. Yeah, you got to know his history. He's been around from the beginning, and he's done a lot of amazing music. Right, so I've got this kind of like fast electro funk with this light kind of melody on top. We got the tambourines are kind of loud. I wish I'd mixed those a little bit lower. And it almost has, it's not as fast as drum and bass, but once I bring, you'll hear what's about to happen. It starts to get more breaky and kind of chunky sounding in a little bit. But I was kind of trying to go for that rolling drum and bass feel, but with electro. And I think those of you who have been checking out the streams over the last couple of years, I do really like fast electro, and this definitely is in that realm, right? Oh man, Syak PhD Live, he's calling out some stuff. My stuff for Ultra way back I was in the Fisher Spooner documentary. Getting nostalgic today on the show. All right, the breaks are coming. I want to get to the breakbeat part, and then we'll move on to what I'm working on today. Chimatica says it's an unusual vibe. Yeah, I wanted it to be different, and thank you. I'll take that as a... There it is. There are the breaks. I'm rolling. Okay, so you hear, this is the vibe I'm going for. It's hypnotic, it's electro, it's breaky, it's fast, it's sharp. I wish it had more bass in it. I mean, that's just how it was mixed. You know, this was 1990 something, and I wasn't thinking that hard about making it perfectly polished. I was just making tracks, and they were what they were, right? I don't even think this is like fully mastered. It's just loudness maximized. It's not EQ'd or anything. Let's pause that for a second so I can think. Yeah, so like to hear this mastered, you have to check out the vinyl. Like the vinyl cut sounds fuller and warmer. This was straight off the DAT. We didn't even, you know, when we put these old Serotonin tracks out for digital distribution, we couldn't afford to pay to have a mastering guy do the whole catalog. So we were just like, just make it loud and throw it up on Beatport. And so this is what it is. I should probably one of these days go through the trouble of making them more full and modern and fat sounding, but also it's a historical archive. It is what it is. And if you want to really hear it right, you got to get the vinyl. So look for that on Discogs. Anyway, it's already 1:39. I feel so thrown off because we had the crazy problems with the stream and OBS crashing and everything. So let's just get into, whoa. It's just one of those days. I swear, this is probably the worst stream I've done in 3 years. Thanks to everybody who is still sticking around, and apologies, new viewers. Normally, it's much more professional than this today, right? We're just going to roll with it. We're going to have fun and hang out and listen to music. So here's this track. This is actually, you know, a bit more of just like a track overview today. Like this is pretty far along in terms of arranging and you know, the writing. I might be adding a couple of new elements. There's just a couple things that I'm still playing with. Like I might layer another break beat in there, but I'm using the Amen break, so it's totally like, you know, old school breaks sounding, right? It's not drum and bass. It's not that fast. It's still only 140 something. But in a similar vein to the Velozone track that we just listened to that Keith played last night, right? So it reminded me, oh, I have this track that's kind of similar in concept, right? It's electro. It's a little bit on the faster side. It's got these kind of plucky melodic things going on, and then it's got chopped up breaks and some heavy. And this one's got the heavy bass that I wish Velozone had, right? That has the deeper kind of more heavy sub going on. So, I don't know. Let's take a listen to this and see where we're at. All right. I've got one track I need to mute because I'm not really ready for that yet. And let's take a listen, and you guys can get an idea of the vibe that we're going for today. And, oh, and one more thing, if you really want to hear it, we need to make sure that the stream output is active. All right, fantastic. This should be good. As soon as I get this plugin out of the way. And here we go. That bass note was not supposed to disappear. There's a ghost in the machine today, guys. I swear I'm cursed. All right, so far so electro, right? Similar kind of, got the rolling vibe. I put some filter and sample rate reduction on the delay on that bass, and it sounds like it's like talking in the background a little bit. We did a little bit of sound design as well. That swirly backwards forward synth that just came in is actually the bass line processed in a Reactor plugin, which I now don't have anymore somehow. Kymatic 82, thanks. I appreciate the sentiment. Some days just keep on throwing you lemons. Okay. And here we get into the bass. Yes. Got some kind of old school wobbly sine wave. This is my favorite part, I think. And you can hear that, there's that little percussive lead sequence coming in. This guy. Which makes it continue to sound a little more electro. Oh, I like that. Kymatic 82. On the DMB cusp. That's what I wanted. I wanted to have, like, it. Here you go. Now we get the breaks. Now I got the chopped up Amen. And the bass line's more kind of UK style. I got a question here. Did you separate the bass and sub bass? No, it's just one sound. Got some glitchy effects on that lead. I tried to kind of make the lead it's not really a lead. That sequence, it's like as percussive as it is melodic. Like it kind of goes in and out. Got some sound effects coming in and out between the transitions. Let's see how this goes. I like how it washes out like that. As I listen to this, since I'm kind of, you know, it's almost finished, right? I'm still like figuring out some last minute details, like small changes that I might make, or if I need to add anything else, or if there's anything I need to remove, because it's really busy once the breaks get in there, right? I like this. What's up, Bamper Clap? Hi, robots. It's a little too breaky and funky to be very stiff, though, in terms of my movements. All right. Almost done. It's like a 5.5 minute track. A nice outro here. So I'm gonna look at a couple of spots in the arrangement to see if I might make some changes. Oh, nice. Now, that's, for me, this is a high compliment. Tom Relic says, Elon Tape Vibes. I love that label so much. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Cool. Yeah, because, yeah, that label is amazing. Is that the Zenker brothers to do that? Ilion Tape is just one of the most amazing labels, and they go from techno to breaks, sometimes electro, some more IDM experimental stuff. Their releases are awesome. So, okay. Now, what I was just thinking, right? So I'm so close to being done. This could be done, right? I could just do some mix tweaks and get it mastered and done. But like, I'm having a couple reservations about some moves in the arrangement that I want to go over. And I also have, not that it needs more, right? But I'm trying to decide, do I want to lean more into the breaks or strip it back and keep it more electro? Like that's kind of, because I like how it sounds in the beginning, right? When it's more stripped down. But I also have this thing going. I have another break beat. Let's hear what that sounds like. And that just makes it so much not electro anymore. It's so like live drummer. It doesn't even sound like drum and bass kind of breaks or UK breaks anymore. It's like a funk drummer. It's like got James Brown's drummer playing along. But I like it. I would dance. It's like if it makes me dance, if it makes me feel something, you know, then it's good. But then I still need to make a stylistic choice. Like, does this track want to be more breaks or want to be more electro? Or do I try to find the exact balance of both? Now, you know, I don't absolutely need to add this. And then, like, you know, last night, Radioactive Man was playing some breaky stuff, and it was really good. So, you know, I feel that right now. So there's that. Yes or no on more breaks. Maybe I do 2 versions. And then I also have another melody sequence that I was playing around with. So we have, which is definitely more blippy, computer-y. And I like this maybe as a B section to the other synth. And like I was playing around with this grain delay, because without this grain delay, it's just more simple. Which I also like, because it adds to the halftime slow motion feel of it with the slower sequence. But then I could bring this in. Just automate having the grain delay coming in and out. I could play with the granular spray of that. Like, just this all day, man. I need to set up some MIDI knobs for this. So there's so much variation just with the delay. I love it. But then I was even, all right, I can't help myself. Sometimes I like doing these little complex 16th note or 8th note sequences and then copying them out and then doing melodic changes to make them kind of more sophisticated. So one thing I noticed about this sound is it's got a long release on it and a short decay and a low sustain. So when you play a long note, it's short, but when you play a very short note, it rings out. Right, I think the original note was here. Oops. Right, so what I would do is duplicate that a couple times, right? So now, and then transpose the note. Oops, right, wrong note, but you see what I'm getting at, right? It's gonna play a sequence or a progression. I'll get it. And then maybe I do it here. Let's hear that. Because, you know, sometimes I get bored of one-bar patterns that don't change melodically. And doing stuff like this, it makes it a bit more like IDM, sophisticated sounding, I think, hopefully. Or is that too much, right? Again, I'm trying to find a balance here. Like more electro, more breaks, more repetitive, more progressive variation in melody. And if I do that, where do I do it in the arrangement? And I would probably do this later on. I don't want to do it too much though, because, you know, I still want to kind of keep the dance floor hypnotic groove, right? I don't want to interrupt it too much with like, it's getting brain dancey now when I do stuff like that. So what does that sound like with the break beat that I'm not sure I'm going to use? Oh, I love this. Yeah, 9000. Granular sounds like Two Lone Swordsmen. Win. Yes. Thank you. And what does that granular stuff sound like on the variation of the melody? It might be a little too much. That's okay. It's tickling my ears, all those high frequencies. What happens if I go down? Right, so that was the pitch coming down an octave. It's a little less crazy when it's darker like that. Could put some reverb on it. Take it away. See, that's the other thing. Figuring out where to put it and when to take it away. Now, right there, when that hi-hat came in and this swirly, weird noise is coming in, it's like the bass, but different. This breakbeat sounds too busy. So that's where I know it's too much. I would take it out there. And I love that pause where it stops and right before the bass comes in, it makes the bass hit a little bit. It enhances the impact of when that bass drops in. So I'm jumping all over the place, just going with the flow here because I'm trying to fit in as much as I can in a short amount of time because I can't really go too much longer because of the technical issues. Apologies for all that again. We'll have to do another full session on this in the future. But right, getting back to the arrangement, and one of the major changes I was thinking about in this arrangement is in this break where it gets all washed out, the synth gets kind of big with all the reverb and everything. I was thinking about cutting it off there again. Like that little stop we just heard where everything drops out for a couple of beats and then the bass starts. I might do that again. Right, so in this part. So let's hear how it sounds again when it gets all washed out. So right there, it's cool, it's smooth, right? It just kind of goes whoosh, and it all just smooths over with the reverb on that sound. It turns from a 16th note sequence into a pad, basically. And it's a little bright. Maybe I could EQ it or filter it. But let's see what would happen if I don't fill in that space, if I create a little pause. If I can, because I really love how when the bass comes back in and it's just clean with nothing else happening and create more contrast in that section. So from right here. It might be as simple as automating the volumes of the reverbs off right there. I mean, we'll see. It might be too sudden. But like, that's the delay. And then that's the Valhalla. Oh, I love the Valhalla, man. All right. Let's see if that works timing-wise. We'll start back a little bit. You hear all that crazy noise in the background? That's just going the whole time. Atmosphere. Oh, I missed one. I'm just going to have to chop that, aren't I? Where'd it go? I'm so confused now. All right, that track. I guess I also need to turn that off. I normally don't do mutes like that, but whatever. Usually prefer to do it in a more sophisticated way, or, you know, something more shapeable, more of a shape rather than just stopping. I hope this works. What? That was crazy. I'm not sure about that because it's so sudden. I don't know. What do you think? Let's go back and compare it to the other place that happens where there's just a... I mean, and this is easier to do in the beginning because there's no crazy reverb and delay on the synth, right? It's more stripped down already. Oh, that's a good idea, Grizz. Automate a filter cutoff to make it cut out quicker. All right, I want it to sound like that. But I have to figure out how to get rid of the whooshy synth. Right? Like, man, there's so much to take into account today. All right, we only got a few more minutes, so I can't promise we're going to find a total perfect resolution to this. Let's listen. Let me listen to this again and think about it. LPB says it works. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe it's cool the way it is. It's so sudden, though. What other sounds are going on in there, too? I kind of actually, on second listen, I kind of like it because it's so like, what? It really punches you when that bass comes in dry like that. So I think what Grizz was suggesting is that like right here, like if it were to be like a woot, like woot kind of filtered shaped down, it's like it's sucked in, like it's the, you know, got sucked into the wormhole or something like that. It just flips. Man, that's gonna take too long. It's 2 o'clock. I'm gonna leave you on a cliffhanger. I promise we're gonna come back to this one because I'm gonna work on this and figure out how to do this transition. And then I'm gonna figure out how to do it, and then next time we do an Electro Day, I'm gonna show you how we did it, and like see what else we can do with this track because I'm almost done. I want to put this track out, right? I've been sitting on a bunch of electro, breaky electro, weird electro tracks for a while, and I'm overdue to put some tracks out. So this is going to be one of them because I'm really digging on it. Anyway, you were here to be a part of it. Sorry that we didn't have the full hour today due to the technical problems, but at least we got in there and we listened to some music and we talked about some cool things. I got to tell you the little story about Keith Tenniswood and hanging out with him last night. And I blame Radioactive Man for the technical problems today. Just joking, Keith. Thanks very much to everybody for hanging out for this shorter edition of Selway's techno/electro/breaks/bass Saturdays. Enjoy your week. We'll be back again next week. Cross your fingers that none of this technical madness happens again and we get the full time. And again, we're doing the hardcore, hard techno feedback session with Lenny D from Industrial Strength on February 10th. Go to the Discord. Join the Discord. Link is below. Go to the Selway feedback channel to submit your tracks there. Show me what you got. Show me your big banging kick drums. Show me your hard style. Show me your gabber. Show me your hard acid. Show me your industrial banging noisy techno, right? Just full on power. That's what we want. You could also be experimental, like, and distorted and crazy. Who knows? Maybe you could throw some break beats in there, but we want hard edged banging energetic sounds, right? So that's it for today. Thanks again to everybody, and enjoy your week. Adios.